Hi, this is Alec Walker, EVP of Financial Planning in the Crestmont Houston office, and you're listening to The Ascent with Crestmont Private Wealth.
The opinions expressed are those of the host. The material is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute investment advice, and it is not intended as an endorsement for any specific investment. Visit CrestmontPW.com for more details.
Welcome to The Ascent. This is Sam McGee with Crestmont Private Wealth. We have offices in Houston, Texas, and Boerne, Texas, and I'm recording here next to my good friend. Yes, Baron Wiley, the owner.
Where's your dog? I thought you were talking about.
No, we just talked about my dog. My dog is creating allergies for me, not my friend right now. But no, I'm right here next to Baron Wiley. I don't see him as much these days because he's all over the place and just Mr. Boerne, which I love.
Sir,
it's true.
You are
it's true.
You're Mr. Man about town.
Oh, come on.
Cruising around in your little pink tuxedo. Your little pink
tuxedo. Pink Mustang.
No, your pink Mustang.
Oh, goodness gracious. This fell apart quickly. Okay, but we do have Agnes Damp on the phone. Welcome to the show, Agnes.
Thank you.
So Agnes is a summer intern at Crestmont Private Wealth, and it is no secret that I am a fighting Texas Aggie class of 98, whoop. And we are trying to build a real core of great talent coming out of Texas A&M to our firm, because in our industry, there is actually a shortage of financial planners, paraplanners, and service personnel. And we met a couple years ago. Isn't that right, Agnes? Tell that story, like how we came to meet.
Yeah, last year I was at an internship with Charles Schwab. And so I was introduced to Crestmont through there. Sam was able to speak a little bit about his firm, and then just reaching out to him, we built a relationship and met him in person at the financial planning conference last year at A&M. And ever since, we've been connected.
Yeah, and I think Rebecca was there, right?
Yes, Rebecca was there.
Yeah, so Rebecca works in our Houston office now, also a fighting Aggie. What's up, Rebecca? Shout out to her. Just passed her 1 year mark with us and has had a great year and continues to go back to Texas A&M. So we'll be back on campus in October, and Agnes has agreed to at least throw on the Crestmont badge for that time period and join us at the conference. So we're really excited about that. So tell us a little bit about you. You've been super involved. We kind of started with me and Baron talking about our involvement around town, but you've been all over the country this summer. And tell us a little bit about just you, your background, what's important to you, and what you've been doing these days before you started the internship.
Yes, so go to A&M. I'll be a senior this next year, which is crazy. But just this past summer, I was able to be in Panama City Beach for 9 weeks. There's some girls that I like to meet up with, read the Bible with them. And so this summer, it's a discipleship program called Kaleo. And so the girls that I've been just laboring with back on campus in my sorority, they agreed just to kind of just learn more about faith and like what that looks like. So being out at Panama City Beach 9 weeks and learning more just about God, and we are required to just work a job while being out there. So kind of just learning how to have a relationship with Christ while also working a full-time job and just like doing real life outside of college. So that's where I was right before this internship. Got back last Friday, came straight down to Houston to start here.
That is awesome. So I know there's a lot of parents right now here in Boerne that have seniors that are about to be seniors. And my daughter just finished up painting her parking space, and it's kind of a bittersweet time for us. And, we think about college and we think about sororities and we think, oh, that's the general public thinks, oh, that's mixing with fraternities and parties and this and that. And of course that's there, but you're giving a completely different vantage point for these parents listening to this right now. So tell us a little bit more about your involvement with your sorority as well, because you're the president of yours, right?
Yes, sure. So going into the sorority, I had no idea what I was getting myself into just because my parents didn't go through Greek life. It was all new territory for me and my family, but kind of just wanted to learn about the leadership within Katie. And so kind of just started out, I was running their social medias for my freshman year and then wanted to get more involved. So I became vice president of events and programming. So just running all the parents events, philanthropy events, day parties, anything, Girl Scout events, just for a year, and loved that. And just also having the platform with my background, with my faith too. Girls wanted to hang out with me, so I was able to befriend them and just share the gospel with them that way as well. And so then it also made me want to just become president and run for that, just as a platform of being the light, like within the sorority, and also just leading and changing the culture in a different type of way. And so that's what I've been passionate about and wanting, just the knowledge behind like wanting to be president was because of that. So I have one last semester being president, so I'm excited for this next semester.
That is very cool. So those parents listening to this right now that are sending their kids off to college, I know that's bittersweet. What a fine example of leadership and what something can be that maybe don't judge book by its cover by Greek life. There's a lot of goodness in there. And I was a Pi Kappa Phi, so I understand that as well. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about your academic journey at A&M. So I know that you're in finance, and did you switch? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I went in going into Mays declaring, or I just didn't really know I wanted to do finance, but then also I couldn't declare till I had like a certain amount of hours. So learning all about kind of like going into college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then after getting the internship at Schwab, I knew I wanted to end up financial planning wise. So trying to decipher which track to go down, I went finance, and then also have a background in management as well. So doing that right now, but that's kind of just like my career journey there.
Okay. And how did you get into the Schwab internship program? Because we did meet on that. And I remember I did a little kind of, I guess, day in the life of Zoom call with a bunch of your cohorts, and you were on there. And I remember going around the room and asking people where they were from, and they were from like University of Florida and SMU and all over the country. I mean, what a unique opportunity. And then you were there, and you were from Texas A&M, and of course we connected because of that. But you were also a year younger than most of them, so that's pretty unique. So how did that all happen?
So I actually lived 5 minutes away from like their headquarters. So that was a really nice opportunity just to be home for the summer, not have to travel across states for the internship. But I kind of just applied, went through the interview process through that. I think it was like 3-4 rounds, and then I got the job. So nothing special for that, but so I just kind of had relationships there as well.
And what was that like? You were in Dallas, right? You were up there at their main campus that has tons of buildings. It's on a huge, vast property. It's impressive. Tell our listeners a little bit about that, because we have a lot of clients that listen to this. And I've been to Charles Schwab's campus, but what was it like?
It was a different atmosphere. It was really cool. It was huge. And I feel like I'm on a mini college campus when I showed up to work every day. So going into it, I really kind of had an open hand, didn't really know what I was getting myself into, like with the corporate life, but there's 14 other interns. So that was super fun, growing relationships with them. But kind of the bulk of the internship was we were split up. We were in the RIA sector of Schwab, so it was only like 10% of what Schwab actually does, which was interesting and fascinating to find out. We were split off into teams, and so we had work for different parts of the RIA service. So I was on the marketing side trying to build relationships with different RIAs. And then as a group, all 15 of us, we went to a different firm every week just to see the difference between firms and the culture and their vision so differently each week. And we had fun bonding experiences. We had service days. So it was kind of just like a fun little trip each week, going to different firms, gaining more experience, and really seeing how different each firm and their values are, which was super interesting and cool to see.
So that experience of seeing other firms, that is not even a vantage point that I think a lot of people get as a client or somebody who's worked somewhere for a long time. I mean, Alec and Hannah have worked for Crestmont their entire career, which is pretty unusual. Mm-hmm. They're also equity partners, so they better stay. I'm kidding. I'm obviously kidding. They're amazing. That is pretty unique. And so what was that like, seeing the different cultures? And like, were they completely different? Were there a lot of similarities? What was your experience in seeing that? Because that's pretty unique.
I was very fortunate to be able to experience the different cultures. I'm a very hands-on learner. So if someone just like tells me about like a culture or kind of like what the firm means, I don't really take that like in any way. So the different sizes of firms was something that stood out to me, kind of like their day-to-day lives. I mean, I only saw a glimpse of it and what they were telling us. So that was also interesting to see different platforms everyone uses, how everyone plans differently, or just like the different clients that each firm really takes into consideration and takes them on into their company. So that was also interesting to see how that changes drastically upon each firm.
Yeah, and I think that if someone is interested in seeing this, or even younger and going, gosh, that sounds like an amazing experience, there's socials for this internship program, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I see them on Charles Schwab's LinkedIn all the time. Is that right?
Yes.
And it's generally people from all over the U.S. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. They like to try to differentiate themselves and take people from everywhere. So it's not just like one school. So a lot of them, Schwab will go, there's different, I think it's impact days or like RIA days on each campus or just like nationwide that Schwab will go to. And that's really how, I mean, it's a relationship business, how they meet the people that are wanting to intern and they take them into consideration.
Okay. Well, I really want to pivot this last segment here into what has your experience been like with Crestmont Private Wealth? You've been with us for a total of 2 weeks by the time you leave us. So it was a short internship, but I'm really glad you did what you did for those 9 weeks this summer. I think that's really, really important. What's been your impression? And this is unscripted, folks. What did you like? What are areas that you thought were really bright spots? And what are areas that you can see that we can grow?
Yeah, I've honestly had the best time here in Houston. I didn't think I would love Houston as much as I did, but Alec and Rebecca have been so welcoming. And so, because I feel like I'm not a financial planning major, so I don't really get to see just all these types of like platforms and information that I'm seeing while working at Crestmont. So they're very patient and really want to teach me just the ins and outs of Crestmont and just like the clients that they have, and just really welcoming in with taking me to lunch, wanting to get to know me, wanting to get to know like where I want to be in just a matter of years and where Crestmont plays a picture in that. And also just like their day-to-day, just if they're sitting in on meetings, because I think I absolutely have loved being able to sit on client meetings and just see kind of the day-to-day, like what they do. And I want to become a financial advisor. So learning all about that has been what has benefited me the most here. If I had to say, I have no idea what could be done better here, because I feel like this has been so structured, and like the projects that Crestmont has given me has really taught me just a lot about e-money. And I've been working like with 529, so that has been interesting too, just to learn about that and just different allocations that each client are in. So that's been super exciting just to get to learn about. And it's a great hands-on experience that I've just been able to witness these past 2 weeks. And also just like a big thank you, Sam, just for allowing me, even if I wasn't here for the summer, but wanting me just for the 2 weeks. I've been very grateful and blessed that you were excited for me to intern just for the 2 weeks.
We feel the same, and we are super excited about your senior year. That's a big one coming up, and super excited about Aggie football too. So I know you're going to be out there in the stands when we're out there. That's all we have time for today. But Agnes, I think no matter where you go in your profession, you're going to be quite successful. And I think the thing that impresses me the most is how you're doing kingdom work. You're out there really being hands and feet of your faith and just doing what fits your values out there. And so keep pursuing that, and you can't go wrong. That's really all we have time for today, but I hope to have you back on the show sometime again, maybe after your senior year, and see how that goes.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. Give me a gig 'em.
Gig 'em.
Gig 'em. Have a great weekend, and God bless.
Bye.
So you were just listening to Agnes Damp, Texas A&M student, about to be a senior, and she doesn't know this because she's off the air now, but she's actually getting a job offer in her inbox today, this Saturday, and we hope she joins us. If she doesn't, hey, that's God's plan. But she's going to be very, very successful, and just want to say congratulations on a great internship, and you're listening to hopefully a future Crestmont Private Wealth teammate. God bless.